Hello everyone, sorry I'm late. There's one thing that you will eventually learn about me doing lives, and that is that I will probably be late every time. I apologize. I'm gonna just wait a few seconds to see if anyone else pops on. But the reason I was late is I forgot that I had my ranunculus and anemones outside hardening off, and it's, excuse me, it's getting colder, so I need to bring those in. And my husband, he has taken the kids out so that I could do this live without having 1,000 interruptions. So he's not here to do it for me. So I will have to keep this not short, but not too long. So we should be able to get through the Geo Seed. Excuse me. We should be able to get through the Geo Seed and MIGardener order just fine though. But I don't know about the seedling and grow room tour today. I'm crooked, so I'm gonna fix that really quick. All right, so let me just log in really quickly to my laptop just so that I can see who's on here and if you guys have any questions or comments. If you're watching the replay, just please give me just a few seconds. My laptop is lagging. But what's new? All right, so I don't see any comments yet, but I see that there's a few of you here, so I will just get started. If this is the first time you are viewing any of my videos, hello, my name is Candace, and I primarily have videos on my channel about my cut flower farm. I'm going into my second year having a cut flower farm, but I've been gardening for well over 10 years. But it's just primarily been vegetable gardening and gardening in flower beds. And then I discovered the world of cut flower. Well, I've always known about cut flowers, but I think I partly wasn't just really interested in them because I didn't realize how wonderful they were, I guess. And so I just never grew them. But that has all changed. So now my channel is primarily about cut flowers, but I also still include a lot of my vegetable gardens and my flower beds around my house and things like that. So if you're new here, welcome, and I would like if you would stay and watch and consider subscribing. But let's go ahead and pull out the Geo Seed Order. This is the company that I got most of my seeds from this year. I've wanted to order from them for a couple years now, but it was really intimidating because if you don't know, I will show you really quickly here in a second, but their seed catalog doesn't have pictures and everything is in the Latin, excuse me, I think it's the Latin name. So for example, Lizianthus is under Eustoma something. Sunflowers are under Helianthus. You get the idea. But all the variety names are under their regular names. So Lizianthus is under Eustoma, but you're still going to see like Echo Blue or Echo Mix or Voyage 2 Mix. So you just have to do a quick Google search to see what that is that you're, looking at. And then, like for me, I already knew most of the varieties that I wanted just from doing the research on what I wanted to grow in the cut flower garden. So I just had to find those varieties once I found that section, and it was super easy. But I am a researcher, so I spent a couple months going through every single variety in that book, Googling almost all of them, and trying to figure out, which ones was the best, and, not just what's good for cutting. Trying to find the best of everything. I'm also very frugal, so that's another reason I didn't want to, order something and it not be the best and have to order something else. So I tried to find the best of everything. So I have most of my seeds for this year I ordered through Geo. It's not a huge, amount of seeds. It's still a good amount. But I also do have a lot left over from last year. And I was thinking with the first live that I did with you guys, I said that I wanted to go into a little bit of detail, which I did, but I didn't go into a ton of detail. I feel like if you're a beginner, you may not even know what a Snapdragon is or the shape or anything like that. So I want to do a video totally separate from this live, maybe just going through everything that I'm going to grow this year, because there are things that I didn't order this year because I still had seeds from last year. So maybe that will give you an idea of a better understanding, because for example, Celosha and Amaranth is going to be two of my main fillers, but I didn't really order any this year because I still had a lot from last year. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. But let's go ahead and get on into this. I see that Ahava is here and Pixie Petals Flower Farm. Thank you guys so much for joining. All right, so let me just see quickly if they are kind of organized. I at least want to get like all the Lizianthus together. So if you're just watching and you haven't commented, go ahead and put a comment down and say hello so that I know who all is here. Let me know, what are you most excited about growing this year? I think I'm most excited about the new Lizianthus varieties and all the spring bulbs that I ordered. They're all starting to pop up out of the ground. And then all of the ranunculus and anemones. I am having an issue like I just spoke about. I'm still hardening them off. We've had like torrential rain pours for this past week. So now the hoop house is done, but my backyard is like flooded. So they're still getting hardened off and they're not yet in the ground, and I've already lost quite a few of them. But I ordered some more. I think that just starting super early spring is going to be my best bet with all of the rain and not having a super huge hoop house. Being zone 6B, I'm kind of on the edge. But anyways, let's get on into this. So the first thing I ordered is Yarrow. I ordered Summer Pastels Mix. I also have Cerise Queen from last year. I absolutely loved Yarrow as a filler. It's another one of those that just kind of fills in the gaps when you're making a bouquet. It last year mine got root bound in their trays, and I didn't get any blooms until like way late in the season, and I didn't get very many before my first frost came. So this year I'm going to try to not let them get root bound in their trays, because I would love to have those all season long. This one is something for my flower beds. Let me get situated really quick. So this next one is, it's Alyssum Rosio Day variety. And if I remember correctly, this is a pink. It might be a pink and white mix. I got this one for in front of my lavender hedge. Excuse me. I planted a lavender hedge in the front of our house this fall. I'm still working on editing that video. I left about a foot in front of that hedge of the bed to do something a lot more low growing. I know usually people do lavender as the very front thing, but I think it would just be super beautiful to have like a carpet of alyssum right below that lavender. So I'm super excited about that. I've never been able to plant a lavender hedge before, and I've waited years and years to be able to, so I'm super excited about what that's going to look like next year. So the next one I got is Amaranth Hot Biscuits. This one's kind of like a coppery brown amaranth. If you don't know what amaranth is, it's like these big spikes. The closer you put them, the smaller they'll be. But some of them can be, like this big around and stand like that tall. And I wanted to get hot chili, but they didn't have that one in stock. And then next I have Capriola Cosmos. This one, like I said in part 1, Cosmos, I may have just been harvesting them too late, but they don't have the best vase life in my experience, but their foliage is super, I love using their foliage in bouquets. But I also wanted to try some other colors this year. This one is like a red and white stripe, I believe. And I wanted to try some other colors because even if it is only 3 or 4 days, I hear a lot of people saying they don't mind if there's a few flowers that they have to pull out after a couple of days, and still be able to enjoy the rest of the bouquet. But some people said that it's not good. If you have like one thing that has a really short vase life, it may make the entire bouquet look bad. But if you just kind of inform your customers, of that, then they can look beyond that one flower. Just like dahlias, most people, they don't care that they only last 3 or 4 days because they're just so gorgeous, like me. I am not going to be growing as many for the cut flower farm though because of that. But I had a lot of people say this past year they didn't care, they wanted all the dahlias. So next I have Cantaloupe Calendula. This is another one I wanted to try, but it's another one that it wasn't one of my favorites to use in bouquets. They didn't have very long stems, and it's kind of like a trap crop because it has really sticky stems, and I was always finding like fungus gnats or what are they called? Is it lacewings? Anyways, a lot of small bugs get stuck to the stems because they're super sticky, and it just doesn't make for very fun harvesting. But they were so beautiful. I just had to try another variety. Last year I tried Pink Surprise and Flashback mix. And that's also something that can be used really early because it's a cool flower. They can take some cooler weather. And here in Zone 6B, I'm needing to try to find more things that I can get super early because it's like after the tulips and daffodils, I have like a month and a half, sometimes 2 months before I really have anything else because I'm waiting on my warm season crops. Next, this is new for me. This is Blue Plurum Garibaldi. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I also ordered, I wanted to order Robustica, but I think that one was out of stock with Geo. Next is, this is Snapdragon. I guess Latin name is Antiranum. But this is Sonnet Mix. And this one I ordered to put in my landscape. This one is Harvest the Cosmos earlier. Okay, thank you. All right, so this is a mix that I ordered for the landscape. It stays quite short. For spring, I planted kind of like in a scallop shape. I spoke about in my last video of like what's been going on, some of the things that I did in my flower beds. And for the tulips and daffodils, I planted them in a scallop shape. And when those are gone, I need something else to kind of go there. So I thought this would be a pretty mix to plant there. The next Snapdragon I got is the Podomac mix. Last year I mainly grew Podomac Snapdragons and a couple Costas, and then like just like a generic Snapdragon from Lowe's or Home Depot, and then like Apple Blossom and a couple other ones from MIGardener. The Podomacs I noticed had the Podomac lavender. It done the best out of all of the ones I tried last year. They were super tall. The stems were super thick. They just did great. They sent up a lot of side shoots. Some of my Snapdragons, whenever I pinched them, they sent up a lot of side shoots, but they were super thin and like fragile stems, and I had to be like really careful with them. But the Podomac, even after pinching, all the side branches were still super thick and super tall. And the Podomac lavender was my favorite last year, so I'm excited about the Podomac mix. Next, I got Cool Mix. This one, I can't remember what group it's in, but I think this is like a group 1 or 2. And this one I'm going to try to either fall plant or like very late winter plant. I'm seeing some comments on the screen, but they're not popping up yet over here. Oh, okay. Ahava, you heard the same thing about Podomac. Yeah, I'm super excited about that mix. And then the last one I got was Legend Mix. I was kind of stuck between this one and Opus. Lisa Mason Ziegler, she says that Opus is a really good one, but I think I got this one because Opus was the same group as the Podomac, and I wanted to get one that was a different group so that it would, oh, and there's an ant on my seed pack. That's nice. I'm just going to fling him over there for right now because I don't want to, oh, it's still on my hand. I don't want to murder any bugs on my live video, but I don't know if that came in from this because it was sitting outside for a minute or what. That's great to have on a live video. But anyways, so I think I got the Legend mix for to have a different group than the Podomac mix. It looks like these are in alphabetical order, so let me just go ahead and find the next. Well, they're kind of in alphabetical order. Let me get a drink really quickly. I've been drinking too much coffee today. I've gotten a ton of seeds started though, so at least I was productive. Hello LP, thank you for joining. So the next one is Celosha Selway mix. Last year I grew mainly Supercrest and Supercrest, Pompous Plume, and Pink Champagne. And I think it was from the Supercrest that it had the Celosha that was like the plumes, that was kind of like the feathery plumes. And then it had the ones that, excuse me, it was like kind of like a spike. And then it also had the ones that kind of look like a brain. Is there a fourth type? Oh, and then there's some that are kind of like a fan shape. So at the very top of them, they kind of have that like wave like a brain, but they're kind of like flat. It's hard to explain if you don't know what I'm talking about or if you haven't seen a picture. But I loved them all. But I found that the brain ones, goodness, the brain ones were a little bit harder to use in bouquets for me. The fan-shaped ones were also, but they're so gorgeous that they're worth the struggle. It's almost like a rainbow or like a holographic effect because it's like white at the bottom on the ones I had anyways. It's like white and then it goes into like a yellow and then like a orangish and like a pinkish. So it has like all these colors. It's so beautiful. I absolutely loved it. So I tried to get a plume, a fan-shaped, and a spike mix. I can't remember which this Selway was, but it's one of the three. I got another thing of Bells of Ireland. Last year, my Bells of Ireland looked really good until I got them out in the field, and then they did well. They got about 6 inches tall, and then they got really yellow and just kind of like died. I don't know if it was an overwatering issue or lack of nutrient issue. I don't know what it was, but I'm going to give these another try. I have heard that they like a little less water than most things. So I'm thinking it was probably an overwatering issue. Next, I have Cairo, Kiiro Cosmos. This one was so beautiful. It's kind of similar to the popular yellow xanthos, I think it's called. But I'm pretty sure this one has like a tinge of pink. Next is Pom-Pom Dahlia. Again, like I said with the Floret Dahlia mix, I ended up getting a whole lot of ones that weren't pretty. Didn't know, that most of them would be singles, but knowing that now, I still want to grow some dahlias from seed and experiment with them and try to get some of those really beautiful dahlias because it is a very inexpensive way to get, to increase your stock of dahlias. But I just won't dedicate such a large area to the seed dahlias because, you know, I don't want to dedicate, you know, 50 square feet to ugly dahlias. It's hard to say any dahlia is ugly, but you know what I mean. The next one is Dara Dark Red Shades. This one is, if you don't know what Dara is, or Daucus, it's like the Queen Anne's lace or dill type flower. It's like the umbel type flower. And it has shades of like red and like burgundy, things like that. So I'm gonna have the regular Queen Anne's lace, the bishop's flower. I'm gonna have the Dara dark red shades, and then I'm gonna have the blue didiscus, or however you pronounce it. So lots of those types, umbel types of flower shapes, which are great for filler. I used Queen Anne's lace, or it may have been the false Queen Anne's lace. I'm not sure. I harvested a ton of it down the street from where I live. It grows wild, like all over this city, which I never realized until I started doing cut flowers. But there's a spot down the street from me that there's just tons of it, and I was going and harvesting a ton of it all season last year, and using it in almost every bouquet. That's another one of those that just kind of like brings everything together. Next, I have Dusty Miller Candicans, I guess is how you say it. This is supposed to be a lot taller variety of Dusty Miller. Last year, I grew New Look Dusty Miller and Silver Dust Dusty Miller, and those also got root bound in their seedling trays, and they never really, did quite well. But even if they would have, I know that one thing everyone complains about is how short their stems are. And you have to grow them like really close together to try to get their stems to stretch and things like that. But I'm super excited about the Candicans because that is a lot taller variety. I wanna grow Dusty Miller so bad. For one, I seen a bouquet with Dusty Miller and then white and purple Lizianthus, and ever since I've seen that picture, I've been obsessed wanting to like recreate it because it was so gorgeous. But also that's like the one memory I have of my grandma, like something that she grew. And I don't know if she grew it purposely or if it was just something that was already there when she moved in. But that's just one memory I have of playing outside my grandma's house and seeing Dusty Miller out there. It could have not even been Dusty Miller. It could have been like a sage or something very similar. I'm not sure. But that's what I see in my memory. So I kind of want to grow that just as like, I don't know. But she passed away when I was 9. I was going to say if you don't know, but I'm sure you guys don't know because I haven't told you guys that. But anyway, so next is flowering cabbage. It's cut flower kale crane feather mix. Last year I grew crane red and crane white, and they were so gorgeous. I planted them too early though. I should have planted them to where they'd be ready in the fall, or planted them early enough to where they'd be ready super early spring. I kind of had them in the middle of summer, and I didn't really have much use for them, but they did go great with some purple and white Lizianthus, the blue Picotee. I think it was Echo Blue Picotee, or it might have been a Arena Blue Picotee, but it was so gorgeous. Just something about those all in a bouquet together. I just loved it. So I'm super excited to grow the crane feather mix. This one, instead of, it's still, you know, like that head of cabbage type shape, but instead of the leaves being like round, they're frilly, kind of like the silver dusty miller is like more of a frilly leaf. I'm not sure how to explain it, like a toothed leaf. The next one is another one I'm super excited about, and that's Gomphrena QIS mix. I wanted to grow another variety. I think there's two different types of Gomphrena. It's Gomphrena globosa, and then something with an H. I'm not even going to try it. And I think the one I wanted to grow was a mixture of both of those. I don't even know the difference. But it was probably the colors. But I wanted to grow that one, but that was on back order, so I got this one instead. So this one I'm excited about. Everyone that grows cut flowers says that this is in like their top 10 for fillers. So super excited about that. And let me know, you guys, if I'm talking about anything that you've grown, especially if it's something that I'm saying I'm growing for the first time. Let me know in the comments if you've grown it and what you think about it. All right, so the next one is Sunflowers Pro Cut Red. It's a Helianthus anus. This one, I grew a sunflower last year that was red. I can't remember the variety, but it was so gorgeous, and it looked very similar to what the Pro Cut Red was supposed to look like. Last year, being my first year growing Pro Cuts, and then being so much more expensive, I didn't want to invest in like all Pro Cuts because I didn't really know if it was worth it. I had mainly always grown branching variety of sunflowers, and I've realized, you know, growing them last year, it is worth it to get the Pro Cuts or to get a pollen-free single stem sunflower. There are others out there like that. The ones that I'm trialing this year is Sunrich series, and I found like with the branching varieties, a lot of them will have kind of crooked stems because they come out like this and then, you know, kind of point back up a little bit. They usually have like really weak necks. What else? And then they're usually not pollen free. And I remember hearing someone say, you know, you should get Pro Cuts because they're pollenless. You know, you don't want to ruin someone's tablecloth, and thinking like that's ridiculous. Like, what's a little pollen, you know, gonna be that big of, it's not that big of a deal. But I had never brought sunflowers in before, and maybe I did, but I didn't have them as long. And oh my goodness, like it would be like a half an inch thick of pollen. And so now I realize it is worth it to get pollen free. I didn't realize just quite how much pollen they do drop. So definitely going with all pollenless this year for the cut flowers. So next is Rudbeckia Sahara. This one I'm excited about. It has lots of different colors of oranges and reds and and yellows and like browns with like a hint of like burgundy. Like it's really hard to explain. Just gorgeous colors. They say that this is a pretty short one, but you can make them taller by growing them really close together or growing them in a greenhouse where they have a little bit, like, I guess, less sun. You know, a few other things you can do to try to make them taller. But everyone has said, like, even with the shorter stems, they're worth it because they're just so gorgeous. And this one's also something this is also a hardy annual that can be grown earlier in the season. The only thing is, I don't think that these colors are very good for, spring bouquets. But the next one I got, Saponaria Vicaria Beauty Mix. And I just heard Serena on You Can't Eat the Grass talking about this, and she was saying that she thought it was, she was saying what she thought it was, and I was like, no, that's, and now I'm getting them confused. It's either, the perennial form of baby's breath, or I'm pretty sure it's the perennial form of baby's breath. What's the other one? Chinese forget-me-not? She's got me confused now. Anyways, so I know that it's a white and a pink mix, and it's either Chinese forget-me-not or baby's breath type blooms. I have 2 of these somehow. I don't think I ordered 2 of these. So that was either a mistake or I don't know. But next is Status Seeker Mix. This is my first time growing Status. I'm super excited about this. I've got some other varieties. I think we went over in part 1. Jessie from Living on a Prayer Flower Farm, she has got me sold on Status. So super excited about that. That one is similar in form to Yarrow. Sounded like something just hit my window. Next we have Stock Column Mix, and I believe this is the shorter variety that I plan to grow in my landscape, if I'm thinking correctly. But no, I might be thinking of the shorter Snapdragons. This may not be the shorter variety. This may be, there's 2 of these also. Oh, maybe it's standard. Like maybe I ordered 2,000, but their standard seed packs are 1,000, so they included 2 of them. Because I feel like I remember it saying 2M, which is 2,000 for them. And then these Saponaria, these have 1,000 each, so that's probably what that is. But column mix. I think this is just, this is a cut flower stalk that I plan to grow. Stalk, I tried to grow that last year, and they kind of died shortly after I planted them. Probably an overwatering issue also. I heard those also need less water. And matter of fact, they were in the same bed as the Bells of Ireland. So I would say definitely either an overwatering issue, or it could have just been, a nutrient issue. The compost that I had delivered was very, very poor quality compared to all of the compost I had ever picked up. I built that cut flower patch no dig, so I covered it with cardboard and put several inches of compost on it. But since I was getting so much of it, I had it delivered with a big truck, and anytime that my husband and I had ever picked up the compost, it was always really good quality stuff. But when I had it delivered, unfortunately, it looked like it was just pieces. It looked like the mulch that you buy in bags. It looked like that, only composted a little bit, like maybe a few years old, like wood chips that were composted a little bit. It didn't look like any sort of you know, like leaves or like any organic material, like, you know, went into it. So I had to do a lot of fertilizing last year because of that. But moving on, next we have the Lizianthus, which I'm super, super excited about my new varieties of Lizianthus. I'm growing, I think, 5 varieties. Yeah, I'm growing 5 series of Lizianthus this year, like 5 entire series. I'm still growing the single, I'm still growing the single varieties, like say Arena Pink or Arena Red or Arena Blue, Echo Blue, that I had from last year, and then the ones that I grew or ordered from Johnny's. But I'm also going to be growing entire series. So I did a bunch of research to figure out, to try to get series that had like every color. So like the pink, the yellow, the green, the blue, the white, the purple, and then, you know, tried to order the ones that had most colors. So there's a few that only had like the pink, the purple, the yellow, and the white, and then, you know, things like that. But I wanted to trial a bunch of different ones, just to see which ones work best. But also a lot of these just have several different looks to them. They look very similar, you know, that rose form, but some of them have more frilly petals, or some of them, they have a different look to them. Like the Dublini, those are like a really small flower that's like the size of like a dime or a nickel. And then some of them are, you know, more like, you know, like a standard rose size. So super, super excited about all of these Lizianthus. The first one that I'm growing is ABC. And I also went through and looked at which ones had the best, longest vase life. They all have about a 2-week, about a 10 to 14 day vase life. But some are closer to like 16 days. And some have more disease resistance. There's something called, but starts with a B, batriasis, or I don't know. I'm probably totally butchering what it's called, but it's an issue. It's an issue that cut flowers can get after they're harvested, and so some of these have more disease resistant, better of a vase life, or stronger stems, or things like that. So the first one is ABC Lizianthus. The second one is Arena Mix, which Arena is one of the varieties that I grew a lot of last year and loved. The next one is Dublini. Well, this says Dublini White, but it's actually supposed to be the Dublini Mix, which the mix is white, it's called, I think, rose, and then blue. And I'm losing my train of thought here. Sorry, I was thinking about something else while I was trying to explain. But the Dublini is supposed to be a white, rose, pinky color, and then blue color. And so they must have made a mistake and sent me the white. But I already ordered the pink or the rose from Johnny's, and so I'm only missing the blue, so it's not a huge deal. But I was excited about the blue because it looks like a true blue, and most of the blue Lizianthus is actually purple. So next we have Echo Mix Lizianthus. This is another one that I grew a lot of last year, that I really, really enjoyed. I believe the blue Picotee, I believe that was the Echo Blue Picotee that I grew last year, and that one was, I think, my favorite. I really liked the baby pink also, and I really liked the just regular Echo Blue, but the blue Piketty, it was a really crisp white uh, flower with the purple, like dark purple on the tips. And it was gorgeous. And it looked really good with the Dublini white and with the Echo Blue, the solid purple one. And then the last one I wanted was the Voyage 2 series. But then they said they were on back order, and then that's when I went ahead and ordered the pink and purple Voyage from Johnny's. And then I told them to give me the Rosita 3 mix, Lizianthus, instead of the Voyage. Super excited about all of those Lizianthus. But that concludes my Geo Seed order. So next I will get the MIGardener seeds. Give me 1 second. Let me just take a drink really quick. It's so awkward trying to like take a drink of something on camera. All right, so I'm actually going to stand up for the rest of this. I'm not someone that usually enjoys sitting, but my legs were hurting a little bit at the beginning of this video. So first off, I got Ornamental Wheat. This I first saw on Johnny's website, I believe. I don't remember where I heard about it from. I remember someone that grows cut flowers on YouTube talked about this. So that's what made me interested in it. And then I saw it on Johnny's, but I think it was out of stock or something. And I ended up finding it on MIGardener's website. Next, I picked up just another I was gonna say another thing of dill, but no, this is bouquet dill. This one is supposed to be better for bouquets than the regular dill. It looks really similar, but maybe it has better vase life or something. Let's see if it says. It says it blooms sooner. It blooms sooner than mammoth dill. And it's slightly smaller, which makes it perfect for growing in containers. Next, I picked up another lemon basil. I think the first lemon basil I got was from Florette, the Mrs. Burns lemon basil. I actually ordered this before I think I harvested the seed this past fall, or I wouldn't have probably ordered it because I harvested probably 5,000 lemon basil seeds from my garden this fall. Next is lime basil. I picked up another one of these. I also ordered this last year. I only grew a few of these. No, this is the one I grew about 10 plants of this one. I grew it right next to the lime basil or the lemon basil, and I kept having to like take it all the way out of the garden and like wipe my hands off on something and try to determine which one I had. Because sometimes I wanted to use the lime basil and not the lemon basil. It's not a huge deal. They look really similar. But sometimes I wanted to use a different one for someone, and I kept getting them mixed up. So I'm going to have to remember to grow those away from each other next year. Next, we have another basil. We have Siam Queen basil. This one is like a round. It says it has a licorice basil taste. So it probably has a licorice smell, which I don't care for. But it's got a round flower head. The regular basils, you can't really see in the picture, but if you've ever seen a basil go to seed, it grows like a really tall flower spike, like 6 to 8 inch flower spike at the top. And with this one, it's a round flower head. Next, this one was one that I ordered for the landscape. This one is Black Swan poppy. Poppies are not known to have very good vase lives, but there is the I don't know if all poppies make the pod, but I know like from Gardener's Workshop, that one variety, the Green Giant poppy pod, that one is you don't use the flower in bouquets, but you use the pod, and those last a lot longer. Next, I picked up another silvery rose straw flower. I talked about that one in part 1. That one was so gorgeous. Next, I got another purple red straw flower. I didn't get any blooms off of that last year, but I also got another of the copper red straw flower. LP says you recommend blue spice basil. I do think you said that last time. I will look that up. I don't think I've heard of that one. Next, I got another apple blossom Snapdragon. This one, it looks really orange on the picture, and because most of my Snapdragons I put like all in the same bed, I didn't really label them very well once I transplanted them. So I'm not sure if it's actually that orange, but the Podomac apple blossom on Johnny's website, that one looks white and pink. And I know for sure that one's really white and pink because I distinctly remember getting a lot of those last year that were white and pink. So I'm not sure if this one is also like that, or if it's just kind of like the picture is just not very correct. But I'm going to try to keep those separate this year to see if it's the same as the Podomac apple blossom. So got another white snowflake apple blossom, or white snowflake Snapdragon. I grew this one last year, and especially in early spring with like bachelor buttons and dill, or the Queen Anne's lace, like just like a really light pink and white color palette. I loved it. Rose Snapdragon, got another one of those. And then I picked up another Bells of Ireland. And that concludes the MIGardener seed haul. That one was a lot smaller. So that concludes all of the seed haul unboxings that I have. And it's been about an hour, so that was perfect timing. Thank you everyone that joined in and has been commenting and participating the last 2 weeks. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I have to get out and get my ranunculus and anemones, so I don't think we'll have time to look at the grow room today, but if you want, we'll try to do this at the same time next Saturday. and I will give you guys a tour. But I would also love if you would let me know in the comments, besides seeing the grow room and the seedlings, maybe what else you would like me to talk about next week. It can be about seed starting. It can be anything. Like what kind of questions do you have, or what kind of videos would you like me to put out more? Because I kind of have an issue trying to film everything. Like I said, I still haven't finished my lavender hedge video. So leave me more comments about what you want to see so that I can focus on those videos and, you know, focus on filming that video and editing that video, and, you know, then choosing something else that you would like to see instead of trying to film everything, because I just unfortunately don't have time to edit that. And although I realize that, I still make the mistake of trying to film everything. But thank you guys. LP, thank you for sharing your hauls. You are welcome. I'm looking forward to it also. Like I said, I already have tulips and daffodils, alliums, like all the spring bulbs are starting to pop up outside. If you didn't watch my bulb order, I ordered, I think by the time I was done, I ordered around 1,800 bulbs. I ended up getting some last minute on clearance. Well, no, it was less than that because I never received my daffodils from Jake. And there was something else I didn't get. But anyways, around 1,500 bulbs. Usually I grow like 50 or 75. So 1,500 is a huge jump. But even if I don't sell them all, like I'm just going to enjoy them all being out there and being beautiful. This is going into our third, well, it's only our second spring here. We moved in 2 summers ago. So it's going into our third year though, being here. But everywhere that I rented, I didn't invest a lot into gardening. So I'm kind of going all out now because I kind of saved my gardening budget for when we bought a house. So I know that's a lot, but you also have to understand I've been like really tightening my budget for the last like 10 years until we, you know, found a house to buy. Yeah, I never got my daffodils from Jake. I don't want to like, you know, put anything bad out there about him or anything. I understand he is very busy. He has a lot going on. And I don't think it was his fault because I did get an email saying label created, and then I did get an email saying arriving late. But I don't know if it said that because like maybe the box never got picked up and it just kind of automatically said that. But I feel like maybe the post office picked it up and then it got lost or something like that. So I don't want you guys to think, you know, he's doing or has done anything wrong or anything like that. But I am waiting for him to get back with me on that. And, you know, that's been a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know what to say there. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to make it sound like he's done anything wrong, but it has been a few weeks, and I'm still waiting to hear back from him on that. But like he has posted, you know, that he's starting to have other people take messages for him through Messenger and stuff because he is having trouble. I know that like a ton of people are messaging him like every day, like, when is this coming? When is this coming? When is this coming? And I know that that's got to take hours and hours of his time. So don't think I'm like saying anything bad about him because I don't think it was his fault. But I also am having trouble getting a hold of anyone at the post office that can tell me what the issue is. They told me that I needed to get with him, and that he needs to like help figure it out. So anyways, yeah, it's probably sitting at the post office or lost. And that's what I told him. Like, you know, if you did send it, could you just help me, like, at least figure out, like, let me know who your local post office is or something, give me their number, and I will try to figure it out because I know you're so busy. You know, but, like, I don't know even where to begin on, you know, where it got sent from, where, you know, where he lives or anything, because I've already thrown away all the other packages from him, so I don't have his address or anything. But I'm pretty sure it's the post office, you know, it's their fault. But I'm getting out of breath, talking too much. I didn't order a ton of daffodils from him because, you know, I'd already, you know, invested in so many other bulbs. So I'm still going to have a ton of daffodils. I think like 440 daffodils. Excuse me. So I'm still going to have a ton of daffodils. So, you know, I'm not super upset about it, but I mean, anytime you spend money, you want the product you received, even if it was $5. That's still $5 that you plan to get something back. But luckily I found all those daffodils on clearance, so I'm gonna have plenty of daffodils. Super excited, and you know, I've got all of his other orders. I mean, I ordered tulips, peonies, ranunculus, anemones. All of my other orders I've received from him. I've got on time. They've been perfect. So yeah, I don't want it to sound like, you know, I'm talking bad about him in any way, because all of my other orders have been fine. But it's 7:20. It's been a little bit over an hour. So if you guys don't have any more questions, then I'm going to get off of here. Thank you again. Hold on. Oh, okay. Y'all were just answering my question about what you want to know about next. So I'm going to get off here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.